my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you to this special Mother's Day episode here on the Fit Mother Project podcast. My heart is just so full recording today's episode for you because I believe that being a mom is probably the most important job in the world. And the reason I say that is because you may know the story of why I started the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project. It's because growing up, I watched my own dad get very sick. He ended up dying when he was just 42. I was 9 at the time. My little brother was 6. And probably the most important part of this story is seeing how my mom responded to this incredible tragedy. I mean, just imagine this, having 2 young kids, your husband just dies, you're moving to a new state. I watched my mom battle to keep our family together, to really both heal from her own wounds and injuries from losing her spouse, to raising me and my brother, to putting food on the table, to stepping up as a provider in all roles. As you can probably imagine, I have the deepest respect for moms, particularly my mom. I would be nowhere where I am today without her love, her strength, and her guidance. So that's why Mother's Day is always so special and important to me, because my mom and her love is the basis of all the success and all the amazing things I've done in my life. But this Mother's Day is even more special for me because 6 weeks ago, my wife, Paige, gave birth to our baby daughter. This is our firstborn daughter. Her name is Brooke Sage Balduzzi, and it has been the most special experience of my life, seeing their bond, seeing Paige's bond with Brooke, seeing the incredible gift of a mother's body bringing life into this world, the amazing dependency of a newborn baby on a mom. So I have this appreciation from motherhood from all angles this Mother's Day. And that's why I'm so fired up to share a series of amazing and powerful quotes with you to celebrate you as a mom, to celebrate moms and grandmas all over the world, because I truly believe that you guys are the basis of our entire civilization, of our families, of raising kids. So let's get into these quotes. Here's the first quote I have for you today. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am, I owe to my mother. I attribute all my success in life to the moral, intellectual, and physical education I received from her. And that quote was from George Washington. There is nothing as sincere as a mother's kiss. And I had to include this second quote because I witness this every single day. I get to see my wife, Paige, kiss my newborn baby daughter, and the purity of that kiss, the purity of that love, I believe is the foundation of Brooke's thriving in life. She has the gift of coming into this world wrapped in a mother's love, symbolized by a kiss. And that is probably why, that's the foundation of how we develop as humans. It comes from a mother's pure love. Next quote. My mother said to me, if you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope. Instead, I was a painter and I became Picasso. That quote is from Pablo Picasso. And I love that one. And I feel like I had to include it because I believe one thing that mothers have is they can see the greatness in their kids. Kids are like this seed of potential that is going to blossom forward. And a mom gives this belief to the child that you can be anything. I'm already seeing it happen with my daughter. I experienced that same kind of thing with my own mom. So, wow. I mean, this is one of the superpowers that moms have, is that kind of belief in passing that on to their children. Next quote. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool mom. The heart of a mother is a deep abyss at the bottom of which you will always find forgiveness. Mother's love is peace. It need not be acquired. It need not be deserved. And I think that's probably one of the most special things is this idea of unconditional love, love without conditions. I think as we become adults and we operate in the world, we find a lot of stuff is conditional. Relationships become conditional, but the love a mother has for her child, unconditional. Need not be acquired, need not be deserved. Next quote. The mother's heart is the child's schoolroom. A mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. And this one really struck me because I began to reflect on my life experience with my own mom, seeing how that when my dad's role of provider, of guide, of masculine energy left my life, that my mom was able to step up and fill that void. And I think that's just so incredible. The fact that a mother can still maintain this root of this loving, nurturing energy while also rising to the occasion of toughness, of direction, of whatever she needed to do to raise me. That is absolutely incredible. Next quote. The loveliest masterpiece of the heart of God is the heart of a mother. Next quote. My mother is my root, my foundation. She planted the seed that I base my life on, and that is the belief that the ability to achieve starts in your mind. And that quote is from Michael Jordan. Being a mother is learning about your strengths that you didn't know you had. And this one really struck me because what I've also learned just from my brief experience of seeing my wife Paige as a mom is that motherhood is a journey that, insofar as you love, brings out so much in you and is probably the greatest growth vehicle for the mother herself. I got to see my wife go through the most amazing and powerful labor and delivery, and her tap into the deepest strength that she didn't know she had. And now I get to also see the relationship between Brooke and Paige now, and all the learning and growth that Brooke is giving to my wife. And it's this amazing giving and receiving between mother and child that I believe is one of the most beautiful generative cycles in existence. Next quote. Any mother could perform the job of several air traffic controllers with ease. And I know this to be true from seeing all the multitasking that my mom had to do to raise me, as well as if I walk out into the living room and I have my wife holding the baby with a breast pump, taking a call, making dinner at the same time. It's just like, it's amazing the kind of capacity that mothers have to take care of so much because of the demands that are placed on moms. Next quote. A mother is a person who's seeing that there are only 4 pieces of pie for 5 people, promptly announces that she never did care for pie. And I love this one in particular because one of the hallmark signatures of being a mom is this idea of sacrifice for love. It literally starts in the womb. When conception happens and this baby is growing, the mom is literally giving of herself physically, the nutrients to grow this baby. And then once baby is born, this relationship continues with the providing of milk and of love. And as the baby continues to grow and gets busier with his or her life, the mom continues to give of her time and of her energy. This idea of sacrifice for love is at the heart of motherhood. And is that not the greatest strength and the greatest gift that we can give one another? I think this is one thing that we can all learn from moms. And for moms who are doing this instinctively, I think it's a moment to really just recognize the power of that act that is done every day, perhaps even unconsciously. It is one of the most beautiful things in existence. These next few quotes are about being a mom plus. This next one is about being a grandmom. A grandmother is a little bit of parent, a little bit of teacher, and a little bit of a best friend. And I love this because I think the trajectory of the relationship of motherhood is so special and just continues to get better and different. I'm getting to see the joy of Paige's parents and my parents as they hold our newborn and they now take on this new role of being a grandma. And if you're listening to this and you are a grandma yourself, then you probably know the joy of spending time with your kids' kids and getting on to take on this new role of providing wisdom, of being a friend and a confidant, and also doing some parenting, but in a lot of a lighter weight thing where you don't have to deal with as much of the diapers and the day-to-day logistics, but you get to be there. And I think that's like the blossoming of this relationship where it keeps on getting better. And I absolutely love that. Next quote. The best aunts aren't substitute parents, they're co-conspirators. And this one really dovetails nicely into this next quote from Oprah Winfrey, which is biology is the least of which makes a mother. And I like this one a lot because I think a motherhood is a state of mind and a state of heart. I mean, certainly moms can birth kids physically with their own genetic makeup, but I have so many friends that have adopted kids and have become the best parents and the best moms on the planet. And that's a love that we can freely give that's outside the confines of biology and genetics. And how special is that, right? This gift that we can give children, our human family, and bring people into our family, to adopt people into our hearts. Wow. I mean, what more needs to be said about that? And this final quote I have for you, I believe is incredibly relevant, especially what's going on in the world right now. And here's how it reads. I am sure that if the mothers of all nations could meet, there would be no more wars. And this one struck me because when we look around the world right now, I believe that a lot of the problems are because we have small groups of people in power who are being driven by these forces of greed, pride, corruption. And they're doing the same human drama of clashing out over these power games. And I imagine if we could see just like this boardroom of all the great, wise, strong moms of all these nations coming together, that we would have a very different outcome than what we have now. And my wish is that we could take the same kind of strength and lessons that moms have in families and bring those into governments and policies. And perhaps we're moving in that direction. And I hope that we certainly are. And I do know that we need more representation of strong, powerful women, wise women in our society and our culture today, and the world will be a better place for it. So on that note, and on behalf of our entire Fit Mother Project and Fit Father Project teams, happy Mother's Day to you. To you as one of the amazing moms out there who is putting in the work, putting in the time and the energy to raise amazing kids, to keep your family together, to enjoy life, and of course, to become eventually a grandmother and to pass on all the wisdom and all these amazing memories. So we're just like so grateful and excited that you're here, a part of our Fit Mother Project community, that you're here listening to this podcast. We hope some of these quotes touched your heart, and I'm really grateful you're here. So, and I want to end with this final idea and a thought, and I believe it's very simple. Our entire civilization depends on mothers, great mothers, in fact, from birthing the next generation to raising them with unconditional love. Thank you for doing what you do. Happy Mother's Day.